You can now join as a member right from your phone. Become a member to watch the next episode before it's released. Thank you. When it was revealed that the heavenly evil god was actually the nine-eyed evil god, Mu Chen, Qin Tian and the others all turned deathly pale. Even Xiaoyan and Lin Dong's expressions became extremely grim. Continuing from before, in the void, a scroll of dark demonic diagram slowly unfolded. Within the demonic diagram, 5 enormous evil eyes faintly appeared, gradually opening, filled with a violent and destructive aura. At that moment, the massive Emperor Flame Lotus came roaring forth. Facing the sky-covering demonic diagram, it did not hesitate. A streak of firelight shot straight toward it. A deafening explosion resounded, causing the entire northern desolate hill to tremble violently. Scorching waves of heat swept across the area. Even from an extreme distance, countless experts from both sides felt as if their bodies were about to be incinerated. The fire lotus bloomed, its destructive temperature wildly eroding the demonic diagram. At the same time, the demonic diagram launched its counterattack. The 5 evil eyes erupted with countless dark demonic patterns, like torrents of demonic energy colliding with the dazzling flames. Both forces began to frantically erode one another. Space itself was torn apart under this mutual destruction, riddled with holes. Just as the two powers were locked in fierce opposition, a third powerful force joined the battle. 8 ancient runes whistled through the void, crashing heavily into the demonic diagram. Continuous explosions echoed throughout the void, and even the slightest residual shockwaves made the scalps of all experts tingle in fear. The destructive aftermath lasted for over 10 minutes before gradually dissipating. Almost immediately, all the experts present turned their gazes toward the battlefield in the void. The previous clash had pushed both sides to their absolute limits. Under countless tense stares, the storm of energy slowly faded and everything became clear again. The enormous fire lotus and annihilating light stream had vanished. Only a torn and tattered demonic diagram remained floating quietly in the void. The 5 evil eyes flickered with an eerie glow. Could it be that even the joint attack of the Flame Emperor Xiaoyan and the martial ancestor Lin Dong had failed to destroy that demonic diagram? Seeing this, many heavenly sovereign experts turned pale with shock. In the void, the Flame Emperor and martial ancestor stood in the air, their cold eyes fixed on the demonic diagram. Suddenly, Xiaoyan flicked his finger, sending out a tiny flame. It landed upon the broken demonic diagram. Like fire falling onto dry cotton, it instantly ignited. The 5 evil eyes let out sharp, piercing screams within the flames, before exploding with a loud bang. At that moment, the heavenly evil god's body trembled violently. Black blood flowed from his evil eyes. Within the northern desolate hill, the previously pale heavenly sovereigns stared in shock, and then erupted into excited cheers. The undying ruler exclaimed excitedly, "Truly, the great thousand world is blessed." At this critical moment, the Flame Emperor and martial ancestor have turned the tide. They had originally believed that the appearance of the heavenly evil god would mark the end of the world. But unexpectedly, the Flame Emperor and martial ancestor had already, without anyone noticing, reached a level comparable to the immortal Great Emperor. In the void, the heavenly evil god wiped away the black blood from his eyes, then looked emotionlessly at the two and said, "Do you think you have already won?" The martial ancestor replied calmly, "At the very least, your extraterritorial evil race can no longer realize its ambition to invade the great thousand world for now. Although we only hold a slight advantage, given another 100 years, we will be able to completely inscribe our true names upon the firmament ranking. At that time, either one of us alone will be enough to erase you." His voice was filled with killing intent. The heavenly evil god narrowed his eyes but did not deny it. Instead, he said, "If it really comes to that, I would indeed be unable to stop you." He tilted his head and smiled coldly. "But do you think I would give you that time?" Xiao Yan's expression turned cold. "And what can you do?" A strange smile appeared on the heavenly evil god's lips. After a moment of silence, he said slowly, "Have you never wondered, during the ancient era, when my strength clearly surpassed the immortal great emperor, why I gave him the opportunity to seal me? It's simple. Because I allowed myself to be sealed." This statement caused Qin Tian and the other heavenly sovereigns to turn pale in shock. Even Xiaoyan and Lin Dong's pupils shrank. Back then, the immortal great emperor had sacrificed his life to seal the heavenly evil god. And it had actually been voluntary. "Ridiculous," Xiaoyan said coldly. "The seal was on the verge of completely annihilating you. Why would you pay such a price?" The heavenly evil god sighed softly and said, "Do you know what world suppression is? When a powerful foreign existence enters a world, that world will suppress and reject it. The stronger the being, the stronger the suppression. I allowed myself to be suppressed by the immortal great emperor's seal for 49,000 years. During that time, the seal's power contaminated my aura. So when I break free, I will be able to deceive the heavens and cross the sea, erasing the great thousand-world suppression over me. At that time, I can truly occupy this world, without being rejected by its will, and turn it into the base of the extraterritorial evil race." He smiled faintly and looked at them. "Did you think 5 eyes were my limit? You are still too naive." His cold, eerie voice echoed across the heavens, sending chills through countless heavenly sovereigns. "Long ago, I was known as the Nine-Eyed Evil God. Nine-Eyed Evil God." The moment those words echoed, the entire northern desolate hill fell into dead silence. All heavenly sovereigns turned pale. Even Xiaoyan and Lin Dong's expressions became extremely grim. Then, the heavenly evil god's upper garment disintegrated. His flesh wriggled, and a tightly shut evil eye slowly appeared over his heart. Another emerged at his navel. 2 more appeared in his palms. Although these 4 eyes had not opened, the terrifying fluctuations they emitted caused the entire world to tremble. Silence engulfed the heavens. An indescribable demonic might spread from his body. The heavenly evil god spoke slowly. "Having just broken free from the seal, I cannot yet open all 9 eyes. To fully recover will take about 5 years. So, you should feel fortunate. You still have 5 years left to live." A cruel smile appeared on his face. "5 years later, when I descend once more, all living beings of the great thousand world will kneel beneath my feet and become slaves of my extraterritorial evil race." At the moment when the great thousand world stood on the brink of life and death, even when Xiaoyan and Lin Dong were completely helpless, what exactly did Mu Chen say? That left everyone present utterly shocked. Continuing from before, upon hearing the words of the heavenly evil god, the many heavenly sovereigns within the northern desolate hill wore grim expressions. 5 years was but the blink of an eye. Even with the talents of the Flame Emperor and the Martial Ancestor, to leave a complete true name upon the firmament ranking would likely require at least 50 years, far exceeding the 5-year limit. Thus, 5 years later, nothing in the great thousand world would change. When the heavenly evil god recovered to the state of 9 eyes, that would be the end of the great thousand world. At this moment, both the Flame Emperor and the Martial Ancestor frowned deeply. After a long silence, boundless killing intent burst forth from their eyes. They stared coldly at the heavenly evil god and said, "Since that is the case, no matter the cost, we cannot let you leave today. Leave me. You are not capable of that. Then we shall try." A cold light flickered in their eyes as they spoke sharply. The Martial Ancestor made the first move. 8 ancient runes condensed within his palm, eventually merging into an ancient glazed vessel, intertwined with lightning flames and frost. 8 ancestral glazed bowl. With a low shout from the Martial Ancestor, the bowl shot into the sky, instantly expanding into a massive dome that descended toward the heavenly evil god. This glazed bowl was both offensive and defensive. If trapped within it, even the heavenly evil god would face immense trouble. Imperial flame binding rope. The Flame Emperor rubbed his hands together as blazing imperial flames surged wildly, forming a dazzling fiery rope that shot forward. This rope possessed terrifying binding power. Once entangled, even the heavenly evil god would suffer greatly. The heavenly evil god narrowed his eyes slightly as he watched the two attacks roar toward him. He knew he could not be held here today. No one knew whether the Flame Emperor and Martial Ancestor would become as insane as the Immortal Emperor, burning their lives to fight him to the death. The heavenly evil god bit his finger, black blood flowing out. He then drew across the tightly shut evil eye on his chest, leaving behind a dark blood sigil. Black light erupted, piercing into that eye. Soon, the sixth evil eye trembled slightly and opened a sliver. Even just a sliver. The demonic energy within his body surged explosively. The next moment he waved his hands, letting out a sharp demonic howl. Boundary-dividing demonic light. A jet-black beam shot from the crown of his head, rapidly expanding, instantly becoming boundless. As the black light swept across space, it directly split heaven and earth into two. One side was the northern desolate hill, the other the army of the extraterrestrial evil race. The glazed bowl and the imperial flame rope slammed into the demonic light. Yet it was as if they were isolated in another world, unable to break through. Just by opening the sixth eye, his power was already so terrifying. If all 9 eyes were opened, how shocking would that be? The Flame Emperor and Martial Ancestor exchanged glances, both seeing the fear and wariness in each other's eyes. The heavenly evil god said coldly, "Today's debt. I will repay it in full in 5 years. At that time, your great thousand world will run with rivers of blood." As his words fell, he waved his hand. A cold voice echoed in the ears of all the evil race experts. Retreat. Vast demonic energy surged. Endless evil beings withdrew into spatial rifts. The heavenly evil god and the saint heavenly demon emperor, along with many demon emperors, stood at the rear, casting mocking gazes at the restless yet helpless heavenly sovereigns of the great thousand world. In less than the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, the endless demonic shadows vanished completely. Only the heavenly evil god remained, standing with hands behind his back. With a strange smile, he glanced at the Flame Emperor and Martial Ancestor. "Cherish this final time. Consider it the last bit of mercy I grant your world." With a soft laugh, he turned, stepped into the spatial rift, and disappeared. The Flame Emperor and Martial Ancestor stared into the empty void, their expressions gloomy. The heavenly evil god was far too dangerous. They had already given their all in this battle, yet no one had expected him to conceal his strength so deeply. Soon the two descended from the void onto the northern desolate hill. Qin the Undying Lord and many others approached, their faces pale, eyes filled with uncertainty. "What should we do?" Xiaoyan and Lin Dong exchanged a glance, then sighed softly. "Gather all heavenly sovereigns. Let us pool our wisdom and discuss how to face the world-ending calamity in 5 years." Inside the Great Thousand Palace, the hall was packed. Renowned experts from across the Great Thousand world sat in silence. A suffocating atmosphere filled the hall. All eyes were focused on 2 figures. The Flame Emperor raised his head and said in a deep voice, "Everyone, we have reached a moment of life and death for our world." Qin frowned and asked bitterly, "Flame Emperor, Martial Ancestor, can you truly not oppose the heavenly evil god?" The two exchanged glances and replied, "If he is only in the 5-eye state, we do not fear him. But if he truly recovers to 9 eyes, even the 2 of us together are no match for him. Is there truly no other way?" The Undying Lord asked hoarsely. Silence filled the hall. The oppressive atmosphere grew heavier. After a long moment, Muchen suddenly spoke. "In these 5 years, can we gather those whose names are on the firmament ranking? If we combine the power of 3 ranked individuals, can we contend with the heavenly evil god?" The hall froze for a moment. Then many heavenly sovereigns' eyes lit up with excitement. Even the Flame Emperor and Martial Ancestor were slightly stunned. After pondering, the Flame Emperor said, "This method is indeed feasible. However, the key lies in this. Who will become the 3rd-ranked individual?" Silence fell once more. The heavenly sovereigns exchanged glances, but no one spoke. Even as the peak experts of the Great Thousand World, they still felt fear toward the mysterious firmament ranking. The Flame Emperor and Martial Ancestor sighed helplessly. Their gaze swept across the crowd and finally landed on Chen. Chen, if you have an idea, speak it. This is a matter of life and death for the Great Thousand World. As long as there is hope, we will not give up. Under everyone's gaze, Chen smiled wryly. After a brief silence, his eyes gradually turned sharp. He raised his head, looked directly at the Flame Emperor and Martial Ancestor, and said, "I want to try, to see if I can become one of those on the ranking." The hall instantly erupted in shock. All the heavenly sovereigns stared at Chen in disbelief. Although he already had considerable reputation, he was still only at the Immortal grade. Even late-stage Saint-grade experts lacked confidence. So where did his confidence come from? You can now join as a member right from your phone. Become a member to watch the next episode before it's released. Thank you.